Hey guys, welcome back to 𝘿𝙚𝙚𝙧𝙚𝙡. Today we have a new deck for you called the Sinister Cyclone featuring the new Tornadus from Brilliant Stars with the Sudden Cyclone ability, allowing you to force your opponent to switch their active Pokemon with one of their bench as you put this Pokemon into play from your hand. So we're trying to use this card with our Dragapult VMAX, doing Max Phantom for 130 damage plus 5 damage counter on your opponent's bench in any way you like. So a total of 18 damage counters you get to place on your opponent's Pokemon. We want to be hitting as much damage as possible, damaging as much of our opponent's Pokemon as we can with this attack. With Choice Belt as well, we got 2 copies of Choice Belt and 1 Rocky Helmet to help us place extra damage counters on our opponent's active Pokemon, plus 4 Horror Energy and 2 𝘿𝙚𝙬𝙧𝙚𝙡 as well. So the main strategy for this deck is to hit different Pokemons with our Max Phantom, Dragapult, to do 130 damage or even 160 on our V Pokemons, plus 5 damage counters non-stop. So how do we do a knockout though? Because we are not doing a lot of damage. We are not trying to kill a VMAX Pokemon. We are trying to kill V cards with this deck, because we have our Banette Curse of Devolution to help us devolve our opponent's bench Pokemon with this card as you evolve this Pokemon from your hand. So what we are trying to do with this deck is to collect as many V knockouts with our Dragapult, doing 160 damage to their active V Pokemon and also 5 damage counters on their bench. We even have our Zigzagoon to help us place extra 1 damage counters, plus our supporting Horror Energy, 𝘿𝙚𝙬𝙧𝙚𝙡, and our tool cards, which I've mentioned before, to help us hit those extra damage counters. So after our first hit, we just need 9 more damage counters on the same Pokemon to do a V knockout on the bench. We have to be aware that this ability only lets you devolve your opponent's bench Pokemon though. That means if you want to kill your opponent's active V-Star or VMAX with our Curse of Devolution, you're gonna have to use a Tornadus or a Boss Order to basically put it back onto the bench to kill it with your Curse of Devolution and Max Phantom, placing extra damage counters with this attack. So this actually helps us do a multi-price knockout more easily with our Dragapult Max Phantom, killing a V-Star or a VMAX on the active spot with our Choice Belt, and also a V card on the bench with our Banette. So Choice Belt is definitely gonna help us do a VMAX knockout much easier with our Max Phantom, but if we don't get it, it's still okay because we can still fall back on our Horror Energy, 𝘿𝙚𝙬𝙧𝙚𝙡, Rocky Helmets to help us do extra damage counters as we said. If they don't heal their Pokemon, we can quite easily do a 2-hit knockout against a V-Star or a VMAX, and then slowly kill off their bench Pokemon with those extra damage counters. So Boss Order and Tornadus is going to be the key cards for this deck to help us target specific Pokemons, new Pokemons that have no damage counters on them, so that we get to do as much damage with this attack as possible. For example, if our opponent has 20 HP remaining on their active Pokemon, we can actually force them to switch their active with our Tornadus and then kill that Pokemon on the bench by placing damage counters, hitting a new Pokemon with 130 or 160 damage with our Max Phantom, making sure we don't waste the amount of damage we get to do to all of our opponent's Pokemon with this attack. So we're playing 4 copies of our basic V card, 3 VMAXs, 2 Shuppets, 2 Banette, 1 Tornadus, 1 Zigzagoon, 1 Crobat V, 1 Lumineon for the extra support, and also 1 Celebration Zacian for our Roar of the Sword ability to help us get that extra 1 energy on our first turn on Dragapult just in case they play a Crushing Hammer. So to summon our basics, we got 4 Quick Balls, 3 Fog Crystal, and 1 VIP Pass. So Fog Crystal actually helps us get our energy cards as well. We're playing only 10 copies of energy cards in this deck, 4 Horror and 6 basic Psychic, no experience share, 2 Raihan to help us fast charge the next Dragapult VMAX so that we get to attack immediately after the first one gets knocked out. We also have 4 Evolution Incense and 1 Adventurous Discovery to help us get our VMAX. We have our regular supporter cards, 2 Marnie, 3 Research, 2 Shauna, 1 Schoolgirl, and 2 Bird Keepers for the draw. We also have 1 Boss Order and 1 Manaphy for the extra support, 2 Scoop Up Net to recycle our abilities. We get to reuse our Tornadus, Banette, and Zigzagoon as well. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go for gameplay. So let's go for our first game against Ice Rider. They got Arceus V-Star with the old VMAX from Chilling Reign, Calyrex. From the Crown Tundra. Okay, now we got Adventurous Discovery, we got a Fog Crystal. We should be using that for the VMAX, just because we only have 4 Incense in this deck. It would be, actually, you would be surprised how VMAXs doesn't turn up so easily, because if you play like 3 copies of the VMAX, even with Urshifu VMAX as well, it's quite rare to get it out. That's why you need your Great Ball. If you don't have a Great Ball in your VMAX deck, it's going to be quite difficult to pull out that card. That's why Adventurous Discovery is actually a game changer, because it helps you get that VMAX much easier. You also even get to bring Crobat into your hand and then draw cards with that ability as well. So Adventurous Discovery is quite strong in that sense. We're just going to get a Zacian and then 1 VMAX in our hand. If they Marnie us, I think we actually got a better hand, I would say, because we got nothing but a Bird Keeper. We're gonna Zacian to the first Dragapult because it's not possible for them to do a boss and Melanie at the same time. They're gonna need to do both to be able to knock out our V card. So Dragapult is definitely gonna stay alive for the next turn. So if we do a Bird Keeper, we can attack with Max Phantom the next turn, unless they pull a Marnie on us. So always expect, you know, the worst to happen. Prepare for the worst and expect the unexpected. Okay, they got no Arceus yet. They're probably gonna attack with the VMAX first. I'm quite scared though because it actually does a lot of damage. 280 for a VMAX, and then they just need like Quick Shoot to collect the knockout. So Quick Shoot is gonna help them a lot here. Choice Belt as well. It is beastly on its own without the Star Birth, without that crazy Trinity Nova attack. I don't think they need that, to be honest, but it's definitely an extra boost to your Ice Rider Inteleon deck. It is crazy as it is, isn't it? I don't think they have a path though, because Path to the Peak, you need Arceus to be able to use its VSTAR ability, and without you know, with that stadium in play, you can't use your VSTAR. So they just use a Marnie on us, which is bad. We should have just played a Bird Keeper just now instead of the Adventure, but if we don't do it, we wouldn't have gotten our Zacian. So getting an extra energy is actually better because we don't have an experience share. So we're gonna have to rely on either Zacian or Lumineon to get us our extra energy with Raihan. So Lumineon is gonna help you get Raihan at just the right time. You just need a quick ball. If they don't play their stadium cards in time, you get to use your Luminous Sign. If they play Path to the Peak, we have two of our stadium cards to remove that path. We have 2 O Cemeteries in this deck to kind of release ourselves from that ability trap, because we are using Dark Asset and Luminous Sign. No other V Pokemon ability. Oh, we have Roar of the Sword, my bad. But it only works for the first turn though, so if you are going first, then, you know, obviously you get to use it. If you go second, you have to hope that your opponent don't pull off. If they pull out their Path to the Peak on the first turn, then that would be, you know, super bad because you can't use your Zacian. But it's not the end of the world because they are gonna... It's quite easy to charge up your Dragapult. If they don't do a Crushing Hammer, you can still attack on your second turn, so it's quite easy. It's not necessary, right? Roar of the Sword is not necessary. Unless they do something like Rugged Helmet, Team Yell, Crushing Hammer, stuff like that, Fan of Waves. We are playing Special Energy as well. So Duraludon VMAX is going to be quite difficult because we are playing 4 copies of Horror and no Path to the Peak. Initially, I had 1 copy of that Stadium, but playing that card is actually counterproductive for our deck because we are playing our V abilities, so we can't actually afford to have that Path to the Peak. If we have it too early, we're gonna have to play it, and playing it too early is gonna destroy ourselves. We're gonna be cutting off our own abilities, which is not good. So it doesn't really work too well. I don't think we can draw with any other things. If we draw with a Bibarel or a Cinccino, it's gonna take up too much space. You're gonna need your level balls, extra setup cards. The good thing about Shuppet and Tornadus is that you don't actually need them that early. If you bench them later, it's still okay because you don't need to use them that early in the game. It's kind of a, you know, a late shower. You need to have it at just the right time though, because if you don't evolve at just the right time with your Banette, you can't knock out their bench Pokemon. So after this, we just need to boss that. If we can boss our Tornadus, we should be doing it, so that we get to target the Ice Rider on the bench and then hit another V card, hit the V-Star if we can, with 130 clean damage, so that we get to do as high, you know, conserve the amount of damage that we are doing, because we are hitting 180 to 18 damage counters with our Dragapult, plus that 3 more using that Choice Belt, so it's a total of 200 plus already. 19, my bad. Is it 19? 21 damage counters. So Choice Belt is doing a lot. For only 2 energies, you get to do 21 for Dragapult. Okay, we actually get to kill the Inteleon though. We don't need... If we do a Tornadus, they're gonna switch to Inteleon, right? So we have to kind of devolve the Inteleon if we want to kill it. But I think the best our best bet right now is to kill off the Ice Rider, kill off the V because they haven't even evolved it yet, and then devolve the Arceus later. So be very careful what you're gonna do. Choose wisely when you're gonna play your Banette, because you only have that one or two shots. We do have our Scoop Up Net to recycle, but we want to be using the Scoop Up for just the right card, because we can only use our abilities a limited amount of times. We can only use Tornadus that many times. We may not be able to play 𝘿𝙚𝙗𝙧𝙚𝙡 or Tornadus. We can't bench everything in a single game because we need our space. We need the spot for another Dragapult. We need the spot for Lumineon, Crobat, Zacian as well. So there's not a lot of space for us to play our Pokemons. If we need a Menifee, we're gonna be, you know, tied down to one last bench spot for our ability support, for our 𝘿𝙚𝙗𝙧𝙚𝙡 / Banette / Tornadus, and we can't actually play all of them in a single game. But I quite like Banette though. I kind of prefer Banette to your Tornadus or 𝘿𝙚𝙗𝙧𝙚 because it does the most with your Dragapult. It does the biggest, it gives you a big advantage. If you're killing off a V card on the bench, they actually have to set up a new V all over again, and you actually get 2 prize early. You get your 2 prize early. If you have to kill a VMAX, you're gonna have to wait a few turns before you can knock out that bench VMAX, and by that time they'll probably have done a Cheryl or a Sharon or something to heal all of those damage counters. So it's not good to wait too long having so many damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon. Crystal Cave as well, so always be aware of those cards, and that's why I love my Banette so much. Banette helps you do a knockout fast, and fast knockouts are the way to go these days. We got our Raihan just at the right time. We're gonna play Path. We have no choice but to hit the the Ice Rider this turn. We can actually pull off a Tornadus right now, but I don't think they're gonna offer anything else. We can Raihan for anything, because we have a Fog Crystal in our hand. That means we get an energy already. So let's get a Quick Ball for Crobat. Draw as much as we can. I don't think we should be devolving just yet. We need a 𝘿𝙚𝙗𝙧𝙚 though if we want to be killing the Arceus this turn, because 210 is not enough. We need 1 extra damage counter to kill the Arceus V. And we're benching another basic. That means we don't have the space. We have no extra space for 𝘿𝙚𝙗𝙧𝙚, so devolving the Arceus would be pointless for this turn. We're gonna have to do it later. We got a Choice Belt though. That means if they don't knock us out the next turn, which is kind of impossible, right? Because they don't have the Quick Shoot. They got a Shady Dealings Inteleon, no Quick Shoot. That means we're safe for 1 turn, and 1 turn is all we need though, because we can actually kill off the Ice Rider with a second hit, and then devolve the Arceus, and that's it, right? We don't actually need to kill the VSTAR, we just need to devolve it and then place 1 damage counter. We can even kill the VMAX and then devolve the Inteleon for that extra 1 prize. We don't need to kill the Arceus at all. So count your prize always. Your prize is the most important factor to success. Okay, they are benching another Sobble way too late. What are they gonna do right now? I think their best bet is to evolve the second Arceus, do a double turbo on that, but they don't have any more Starbirth. They used up their ability. If they have a double turbo in their hand, they can actually retreat to the second one and attack with a new VSTAR. That would be like horrible though. That would be my worst nightmare. If they don't do that, they're kind of stuck. Unless they pull off a Sharon or a Cheryl. Cheryl is gonna remove all the energies though. So I don't think they have... If they do a Sharon, they're gonna have to scoop up the Inteleon. Because if they don't scoop it up, we can actually kill for 4 prize to win the game. So they need both Sharon and Scoop Up Net to avoid the 4 prize draw if they want to pass the turn attacking with Ice Rider. So they actually chose to attack with Arceus. That means we won the game because we actually get to kill Ice Rider. They got only 210 HP on the ice. That means we get to kill it with 5 damage counter placement. Exactly enough to kill off the V card on the bench, collecting 4 prize in a single turn, our last 4 prize as well, winning against an Arceus Ice Rider. The most meta deck yet. I would say that's the classic meta for Brilliant Stars. I think that one like won tournaments a lot. I saw a lot of YouTube videos on that, and they win a lot of tournaments. That's like the highest, the most high performance deck, and we actually won against that. Can you believe it? Now we're up against the Arceus Raichu. Arceus. Everyone's mad about that card. Trinity Nova. The old Prism Star card actually has the Trinity Star attack. Arceus Trinity Star. It only does 30 damage, I think, but you get to search your deck for 3 different types of energy attached to your Pokemon in any way you like. So it's kind of the same, but kind of different as well. So it's definitely very interesting, right? Now they're coming up with the rule box Pokemon for Arceus, and with a super strong ability. You get to search for anything. There's gonna be new cards that allow you to search your deck though. I forgot the name of the supporter, but you actually have to discard 2 metal energy from your hand to be able to play that supporter to search your deck for any 2 cards and put it into your hand. So that's a very, very cool supporter card to be playing. Out on the next set, Astral Radiance. Let's focus on the current game though. So we're gonna get our VMAX out, evolve it, and then play our Marnie. We could actually do Lumineon for research. I think I'm gonna do that because I don't think we're gonna get our energy card that easily with the Marnie. Research is more secure. Menafee, the reason I benched that is because we're gonna have to play research anyways. So if we discard the Menafee, we may need it later on. We never know if they're gonna play you know, bench snipe cards like Zapdos or anything like that. So Menafee is always healthy to have. If your opponent is playing Flaaffy, they could be having like Rapid Strike cards on their bench. You know, out of nowhere, play a Mustard for Rapid Strike, Zera or something. Zera doesn't really work though, because you need to attack with your Rapid Strike card on your last turn. If you don't attack with a Rapid Strike Pokemon, you can't hit the bench for extra damage. Anyways, let's focus on this game. Okay, we got our old cemetery, 1 Horror Energy attached. That means if they dare to attack us or attach energy, they're gonna be punished. Ghost type. Ghost type always places damage counters, right? That's like the law of the rule for ghost types. You got your spirit tag. I forgot what, I think it's spirit tag. Spirit tag, spell tag, my bad. Spell tag, if your opponent knocks you out with that tool card attached to your active, you actually get to place 4 damage counters on their Pokemon in any way you like. So I quite like that. Spell tag is so cool because you get to place 4 damage counters in any way you like. Horror Energy is kind of better though, because Horror Energy, each time they attack you, they actually get damage. They get recoil every time they touch your Dragapult. So they cannot touch it too many times. That's kind of the effect of the old Darkness Energy, right? The old Darkness Special Energy. I forgot. Dangerous Energy, I think. Dangerous Energy has the same effect as Horror, but it only does 10 damage though. If your opponent damage your Darkness Pokemon or the now Poison type, which is actually the old Dark type, I don't think there's any other type for that symbol for the old expansions. So Sun and Moon and below that, that Dark type has that Dangerous Energy to rely on for expanded format. We don't actually have it for Sun and Moon though, because that's standard for the last season. It's no longer standard though. I mean, I'm talking a lot of bullshit right now. Sorry guys. Anyways, they have 1 Flaaffy, destroyed because we actually killed it right now. So Banette is gonna help us deny them that extra energy. And we actually did a Tornadus this turn. So we did Tornadus to help us kill the Raichu on the bench, saving us 16 damage. That means we actually get to do 160 raw damage to the Crobat instead of doing 160 to knock out a 20 HP Pokemon. As I explained earlier in this video, we get to conserve all of the damage that we get to do, doing as high as possible, placing as many damage counters with Max Phantom to all of our opponent's Pokemon. So we actually killed Raichu and Mary by using Curse of Devolution in a single turn. Plus, placing so much damage counters on the Arceus and the Crobat. So Crobat is close to dying. They have no way of scooping it up. If they play Collapse Stadium, they can discard it though. So let's hope they don't get their Stadium and 2 bench. They need to bench 2 Pokemons before playing the Stadium, so it's quite a lot. I don't think it's that easy. So they played their Stadium card, no Collapse. We get to kill off the Crobat the next turn. If we evolve, we got our Evolution VMAX. We got Horror Energy as well. They're so dead. So we just need to kill for 1 prize right now. Are they gonna bench? If they bench that, will be quite silly. They're giving us the Mary. They're giving us a Mary for the next turn. Because we got our Shupat ready to go. We just need to place 2 damage counters on the Flaaffy, on the Mary right now. We're gonna retreat to the clean Dragapult to avoid the knockout. They got 6 prize. Let's see if we can deny them any prize draws at all this entire game. We actually could kill the Crobat with only 2 damage counters, I forgot. I'm quite bad with math apparently for this game. Because we did 160 with Choice Belt just now. And now we just need 2 more damage counters. But 5 extra ones would be enough to kill the Flaaffy. We just need to devolve it with a Banette. It's actually called Banette, but I prefer calling it Banette though, because Banette sounds more haunting for some reason. I prefer that name. I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna stick to my personality. Okay, they did a Raihan, 180, and now we get to kill the Arceus and an extra 1 prize on the bench with our Banette. We got our Incense for the stage 1. That means we get to kill for 3 prize, collecting the last one for the win. Raichu is finally ready to go. 4 energies on the next turn. 5 from the hand. Another Flaaffy. 2 Flaaffys though. That means they got another Flaaffy, us killing them. One of their bench. So they get to attach another 2 on the next turn, doing 360 at long last. But it was too late. They couldn't even pull it off. Raichu can't do a knockout. So we killed an Arceus Raichu deck. Totally destroyed it. Crushed it like crazy. So the golden rule for this deck is basically play a lot of energies, because Dragapult, if you don't consistently get your energies every single turn, you can't actually attack that easily. So requiring 2 energies to attack is actually quite a challenge. It's surprisingly a challenge, because if you're up against 1-hit KO decks like Raichu, if they kill your Dragapult Vase, if they knock out your VMAX or even your V-Card fast before you get to charge up the next one, and if you don't get Lumineon for your Raihan, then you're totally screwed. You're gonna have to waste that extra 1 turn, giving your opponent extra knockout, extra turns, to damage your other Pokemons, or even knock out your Zacian V or anything on the bench, or even boss order your Dragapult before you get to charge out the second energy. So that's super, super bad. Never pass the turn not attacking if you're playing a Dragapult deck. Unless you have no choice but to, but it's always better not to. I think it's better to do Adventurous the next turn, but I actually did it this turn because I was expecting, always expect a bloody Path to the Peak, because they're not playing any V cards in their deck. So Path to the Peak is going to completely remove Crobat from our tech, from our draw support. We have no way of drawing cards with anything but our supporter cards. So we better do it early on before they bind us. We do have our stadium cards though, but it's not showing up. We're only playing 2 copies just because we don't actually need them. But stadium cards is kind of essential for any deck just in case they play Path to the Peak or anything that restricts your Pokemon like Galarmine. And just in case, well, you actually get to trap them as well, because Old Cemetery gets to place 2 damage counters when they attach energy on their Pokemon. So Stadium Cards is kind of important. If they play Duraludon, you need Path to the Peak, but I don't know, it just doesn't work for this deck. I explained that earlier. We're actually playing 4 copies of the V card, which is a bit over the top, unnecessary, but so now we have to bench a Lumineon thanks to that stupid Marnie. We got destroyed. Our hand just went from 1,000 to 0 in a single turn thanks to Marnie. It happens so often, like you have no idea. Marnie is so annoying. Marnie is the worst card in format, because she always screws you over when you play her from your hand, but she always gives your opponent a marvelous hand when they plays it from their hand. She's like, I don't know, takes away your heart every time. And we're not even flirting with her. Like, we're not attracted to you, Marnie. Go away. So Lumineon fills in the last bench spot. Now we got nothing left. We can't do our Sudden Cyclone, we can't do Headbutt Tantrum. We have nothing but Shupat to rely on for the extra special effect. But they're playing a 1 prize though, so it's quite easy, because Dragapult helps us do a multi-prize draw. So 3 turns for 4 prize, I suppose. 2 turns for 3 prize, my bad. 2 turns for 3 prize, that means 4 turns to win the game. As opposed to your regular VMAX, you need 6 turns to win the game, right? 6 hits, 6 knockouts. Whereas we can actually do 3 knockouts in 2 turns with 2 hits. Thanks to the damage counter spread. We're spreading with damage counters, that means Manaphy is not gonna work. The only way to remove the effect, to basically protect yourself from Max Phantom's effect, block off the damage counter placement, is with Big Parasol and Wash Energy. I don't think Wash Energy works though, because Wash Energy only prevent effects done to this Pokemon. That means it doesn't prevent effects of your opponent's attack done to your bench Pokemon. It only prevents it done to your active, right? The Wash Energy, if you have Wash Energy attached to your bench though, is gonna protect it from Max Phantom probably. So Big Parasol and Wash Energy. I think Big Parasol only works if you have it attached to your active, I'm not sure. So let's just focus again. I'm sidetracking. They're playing Alcremie. They got Milcery way too late though. They did Xerneas twice. Bibarel, Manaphy, no Milcery. They had to bench 2 copies just because it's only 50 HP. Sadly, we actually did a knockout. Right now, that means they have no Alcremie on the next turn. They're gonna have to re-bench 2 Alcremies. They died. Oh my god. That's so sad though. You need so many level balls and setup cards if you're playing a 1 prize deck. Because if you don't get your attackers fast, you're done. Kind of like a Malamar, you need your Inkays out fast. If you don't get 2 Inkays to bench with, 2 Inkays in play early in the game, then you're basically screwed, because your opponent can quite easily boss order, kill off an Inkay on the bench, and then if you have no other Inkays, you're basically screwed for an entire turn, doing no attack, and passing the turn, giving your opponent free knockouts on your support Pokemons. If they kill your supporting Octillery or your Bibarel, or well, for Malamar, you're probably going to play Cinccino. If they kill your Cinccino or Inteleon or whatever that you're having for support, you're going to be screwed as well. So make sure you can bench fast your basic Pokemons if you need them, especially your attackers. I mean, they should play like Fog Crystal for Alcremie, because that actually works really well for any Psychic decks. Fog Crystal, VIP Pass, you got so many for your one prize. Gloria, Level Ball, Sonia. Sonia gives your energy as well, so Gloria is not always the go-to for one price deck, because just because it doesn't get your energy. If you have not enough space for energy cards in your one price deck, sometimes it's better to play Sonia, because if you get other cards to set up your bench, Sonia is gonna have you get the energy, and you may actually do item cards to bench to set up your bench, and then supporter for the energy rather than supporter for bench and then item for energy. I suppose that's the power of your netball slash fog crystal, because you get to search for one or the other and it's an item card. It's basically a Sonia item, right? A cut down Sonia item. You only get to search for one, but one or the other. Okay, now we're up against a Rapid Strike Urshifu. They could have other cards as well. We actually have a Manaphy, so we don't need to worry. I'm not sure though, because some of the list is a bit different. Sometimes some of the games have different lists, but the general one is kind of the same as the final list. The final list is the best. I repeat this every video that I make, but I'm sorry because I have to show like from the earliest version to the final version, so sometimes it may differ a little bit from the deck list reviewed earlier in this video, and in the description if you guys want to check it out is, if you guys want to copy the deck, is in the description as well. But it's basically a progression, right? As I play more and more games, I kind of refine the deck list and upgrade until there's nothing more I can do to make it better. So that's the final version. No experience share means we need 2 Raihans, and we may get it too early, so make sure you Marnie. If you can do a research, it's better to do a Marnie. They got such a big hand, they did triple draw on the last turn, so hence the angry face. I don't really care. You got Inteleon, so I shouldn't really sympathize. If you have a Shady Dealings, you should be getting another Sobble. I mean, Shady Dealings is broken. I don't give a fuck to Shady Dealings people. People who spam that card for no good reason. I mean, come on, there's so many other different abilities and Pokemons that you can play. You're kind of giving up on your brain cells. You're kind of like, you know what? I don't need to use my brain. I just need to spam Inteleon. I just need to use that card and have indefinite wins every time I play this game. Every time I play the standard format with my Shady Dealings. Fucking annoying ability. And that Marnie actually helped them so much though. Like, they put an angry face, but look at that. They're getting everything they need. They got their VMAX, they got their Sobble, Crobat. They haven't even played a supporter card yet. Melanie is gonna help them attack this turn. They got the Quick Shoot as well. That's ridiculous. The raw VMAX, the raw Quick Shoot without an Incense. I think they actually played an Incense, my bad. Okay. Apparently they couldn't attack yet. No Rapid Strike energy, no Octillery. Surprisingly. They're playing 2 different VMAXs though. Vaporeon and the Fighting type. That means we can actually kill the Urshifu with the Choice Belt quite easily. We're doing 260 damage. Oh, we're actually doing 320. 320 with Choice Belt. That's madness. So that means we just need 1 extra damage counter. If they evolve the VMAX, I think it would be quite silly if they choose to evolve. We have Choice Belt attached to both our VMAXs. Unless if they do a Tool Scrapper, they can actually avoid the knockout hit much easier. So we got a Shubat on the bench, I think. Yep, we got one. One Zigzagoon. we can devolve anything. If we play a Tornadus, we can devolve the Inteleon, hit another one other Pokemon. They're probably gonna put Crobat if we do a Tornadus this turn, but we don't have anything in our hand though. We got 0 hand, so we're gonna be forced to waste those extra damage on the Inteleon if they don't attack this turn. They may do a Gale Thrust, but that would be quite stupid because it's weak towards Psychic type, right? Ghost type. So we're playing a full Ghost box here. Not full on, but double Ghost Pokemons, Banette and Dragapult. We have also our Zacian Fairy type, Tornadus, which is a flying type actually, a wind type. I don't like calling it a flying type because it doesn't have wings, but it is a wind type, a sky type, I would say. Yeah, a sky type. So let's do our Zigzagoon right now. We should be killing the Sobble because they can do much more with that than the Quick Shoot, but I think destroying the Quick Shoot would be better though. Because if we kill the Quick Shoot right now, we can deny them the extra damage boost with Vaporeon, because Vaporeon can do 200 damage if they Quick Shoot our second VMAX. So we got nothing in our hand. Oh, we got a Shauna though. Nothing in our hand, so we actually need to be very careful with the Inteleon because they can slowly kill us with that Quick Shoot quite easily. So never underestimate that stage 2. The ability is so it's like a ticking time bomb. It's broken. Okay, Urshifu is charging up. They are not using Vaporeon apparently because it has it's close to dying. Urshifu is dying as well if we hit it with a Choice Belt, so I don't think they can win that easily. So now we just need a Tornadus really. It's not gonna help yet, right? It's not gonna help just yet, but it's gonna give us a little bit extra though, because we only need 2 more damage counters on the Crobat. So hitting 160 to kill a 20 HP Pokemon would be a big waste, a big fat waste. So let's just do our Tornadus this turn. I think we did a Crobat for Banette. I think we wanted to get Banette out. Oh, we could actually kill the Vaporeon with a Banette. Vaporeon is actually gonna be dead. Oh, we should have done a Crobat because we could have done, if we did a Quick Ball, discard the Marnie, and Crobat, we could have gotten our Evolution Incense, and then devolve the Vaporeon to kill both the V cards for 4 prize draw, and that would have been the end. But we weren't smart enough to think about that. We actually killed for 3 prize this turn, which is sad. And again, I placed 3 damage counter on the Crobat. Bad math, horrible math. Sorry guys. If we placed 2 on the Crobat, we could have killed the 3. Oh, it's not enough though, because 3 plus 1 is 4. Oh, it's actually enough. So if we place 3 damage counter on the Drizzle this turn, that means we just need 5 more damage counter after the devolution. But I completely forgot about Vaporeon apparently. I forgot that Vaporeon can also be devolved, and the stage 1, sorry, the basic is actually quite low, the HP. 210 if I'm not mistaken. So 210 with your Choice Belt, you can actually kill it off with one hit on the active and 1 hit on the bench. 160 plus 5 damage counter is enough. And now we actually killed for 5 prize this turn. We did a 5 prize draw thanks to Banette. We realized it too late. It actually has... Oh, they attached energy from their hand. So they placed 2 damage counters this turn. That's why it has like 18 damage counters on it. So on the last turn, it has 16. I'm pretty sure it's 210, right? Yep, 210. Vaporeon is 210 HP. So we don't even need that extra 2 damage counters from the energy attachment. We could have done the 4 price draw. We could have won on the last turn for sure. But we did not see that. We weren't alert. There's a lot to consider in a game though. So you only have that a limited amount of time to think about, think about new pathways, and if you don't get the epiphany in time, then you're basically forced to pass the turn doing something else, I suppose. There's a lot of different routes to success though, so never give up. It's not the end yet sometimes, but there are certain decisions which are fatal. If you do certain fatal wrong moves, then you're done for, but not every move is fatal though. So they're playing a Malamar deck, getting an energy. I think they actually need a second basic though. They're pretty confident in getting an energy, attaching to the active. Like, come on. That's like waving, is kind of, waving that thing in our face. Kind of arrogant that they were expecting it to survive in the active spot. Or silly, I don't know which it is. So we're just gonna play Tornadus because we actually get to kill it on the bench. It's only 50 HP. We're just gonna target a 60 HP Pokemon on the active, because if we did Max Phantom, we couldn't kill the Cinccino, the Minccino on the bench. We couldn't kill the Remoraid on the bench. So Tornadus actually gave us 2 knockouts this turn, and now they need to reset up 2 Inks from the start, giving us another 2 prize on the next turn. Because they're forced to bench 2 Inks, right? So we got 4 prize so early. 2 prize on the first turn, another 2 on the next. We finally got our supporter card though. We didn't get anything, no Quick Ball for Crobat, no Lumineon, not even Adventurous Discovery for Crobat. So we got quite a horrible hand. We didn't even get a Raihan, no supporter card at all, no boss or even. I think we got a healthy number of supporter cards. We got like 2 Shauna. They actually gave us an Inkay again though, knowing we're playing a Max Phantom. That is quite silly. We're just gonna take it. Like, if you're not serious about this game, we're just gonna take it, right? If we pass the turn trying to kill the Remoraid or the Minccino, we can actually choose to hit the Minccino though, because that would actually give them, it would make the game a bit more interesting, because we can still kill the Cinccino on the next turn and then give them a hit this turn. But I'm a bit scared though, because Malamar can quite easily do a 1-hit knockout with Cynthia, and they got 2 Cinccino as well. That means Cynthia is gonna get them the evolution and energy, and then 6 cards left in their hand. They get to evolve the Cinccino and then draw extra 1 card with that Cinccino. They have to evolve from their hand though, so that means there's 4 cards left. And then if they draw an extra 1 with 2 Cinccino, they got 6 cards in their hand. So it's not enough though, right? It's not enough. It's impossible, virtually impossible to evolve, attach energy, make do. Even with a Cynthia, the max amount of damage you get to do is 240 with only 6 cards, 6 repertoire cards shuffled back into the deck. Because they haven't even evolved their supporting cards. They haven't attached energy, they haven't done a lot of things. So we should definitely have made the game more interesting by giving them that Inkay on the bench. We even got a Dragapult already on the bench, so we should have given them 1 VMAX knockout, and then or half of VMAX knockout actually, because they haven't managed to kill us on the next turn. Okay. I don't think it's possible. I mean, they should just concede already. We are definitely gonna be able to kill the Inkay. There's no way they can avoid that. So we got our last 2 prize. If we delayed the game by hitting the Cinccino just now, we got 3 prize remaining. They actually got the first hit. So that means they need 2 more strikes. They need 2 more strikes to kill 2 VMAXs. If we evolve the second VMAX, we're probably gonna have to, because we need to kill, you know, we need to use Max Phantom. But it may be wiser not to though, because if we don't kill the second Inkay, then we can actually, the third Inkay, then we can actually collect an extra 2 prize with the first Dragapult VMAX. And then for our next one, we just need to hit with Jet Assault, right? If we can do Jet Assault, we better attack with that V card instead of the VMAX, denying our opponent that extra 1 prize, forcing them to kill another Dragapult for the last prize. So now we're up against Pikachu. I'm talking a lot, sorry guys. I'm like not articulating really well as well. I'm using words. My words are all jumbled up together. Today is like a weird day for me. Okay, here comes a second Mary. They're probably gonna play Stormy Mountain at any moment now. No Stormy Mountain. Okay. There's not a lot of Dragon type Pokemons though for the new set. There is Dracovish and Flygon, but no VSTAR Dragon type. No, you know, no other V Dragon types. Not a lot of V 1 prize cards as well. We got Garchomp. We got what's it called again? Hexorus. We got Druddigon. I think that's it. Only 3. I don't think there's anything else. There is the new, There was a Shell Trap. What's it called again? I forgot. The Turtonator, right? Turtonator. Dragon type Turtonator with a Shell Trap. The GX was so cool though, because it was, you know, if your opponent hit your Turtonator on the next turn, it's kind of the same as your Dracozolt VMAX, right? If your opponent hit it on the next turn, they get, you know, they get recoil damage, 12 damage counters. Place 12 damage counters on that Pokemon. Shell Trap is the same thing for the GX. So now they're bringing back Shell Trap for Turtonator in a 1 prize. But you need to attach 2 energies for the Dragon type. You need Fire and a Psychic if I'm not mistaken. So Turtonator doesn't actually do much for the 1 prize, only 8 damage counters. And they're probably gonna knock it out right on the next turn because it's only 110 HP if I'm not mistaken. So they did Pikachu VMAX, discarded all 3 energies, got no cards in their hand. We actually got a few more HP remaining on our first VMAX. We got no energy on the bench though, so we're forced to do a Lumineon for Raihan later. So if they somehow manage to kill us on the next turn, we're gonna have to do a Raihan. Let's hope they don't do a Marnie, because Marnie is gonna quite likely destroy our hand. But we still got Lumineon, Raihan, and more Quick Balls inside the deck to rely on. So no Marnie, no support card. Look at that. That means we're safe for 1 turn. They're not able to attack. They Flaaffy to the Boltund because they didn't even they couldn't even get an energy into their hand. Okay, we're gonna do Banette this turn. We're gonna devolve the Pikachu, kill off kill off the V card for 2 price. Oh, we don't even need to place damage counters on it though. Look at that. We don't even need to Max Phantom it. It's already dead. Okay, now we damage the Boltund and then hit the Mary on the bench. We just need a Zigzagoon and another Banette to kill that Flaaffy. if it evolves. Okay, we just need 6 more damage counters on this one. If they kill us, they got 2 damage counters on the Boltund. If they evolve though, it's going to be a bit more difficult. Are they going to switch? I think it's a bad idea to switch because we are doing Max Phantom anyways. But they have no... They can't avoid the knockout though. There's no way they can avoid the knockout, right? Whatever they do, they're done because we have 3 prize remaining. They haven't evolved. They have no... They had to evolve on the last turn. So no VMAX. We got the last prize. If they did a smash turn with the VMAX... Oh, they can't do a smash turn with the VMAX, my bad. If they did Bolt Storm with the VMAX, they can survive, probably. Okay, we got the 3 remaining prizes waiting against an electric type deck. Boltund, Pikachu, Flaaffy. Fusion Strike Boltund VMAX. Definitely an underused card. But people keep playing it with Flaaffy though. I prefer using my Electrode. Rose and Electrode. I mean, I keep saying that. I keep promoting that deck because it's like so cool. You get to Electrode for 2 extra energy from the deck. Rose for another 2 from the discard pile. And in a single turn, you get to boost the amount of damage you're doing by 120. 120 every single turn. Attach from the hand as well. 150 extra damage. If you electrify on the first turn, going second, or if you electrify on your second turn, going first, you still get to do even more. And then if you get knocked out, all you need to do is Rose all over again to retrieve those energy cards. Obviously, spread your energy cards around. If you invest too much energies on the same Boltund, if you attach everything, invest all of your energies, put all of your eggs in one basket, then all they need to do is knock out 1 VMAX and all of your energies are gone. Your next Boltund VMAX is not going to do as much damage. So it's all about strategy, right? Okay, now they're playing Kyogre Groudon. A 1-hit KO plus a bench snipe deck. It's still pretty broken because if your opponent don't play Manaphy, they got Kyogre. If your opponent has a Manaphy, they still have that Groudon to fall back on. So our main adversary here is basically Groudon's Magma Volcano. Magma Volcano is going to kill us with 1 hit. If they get all 5 discards though, they need to discard all 5 energies. If they discard 4, they're only doing 320, and it's not enough to kill VMAX. It's not enough to kill Dragapult because it's actually resistant to Rock type. It's resistant to Fighting / Rock Ground. Groudon is a Ground type. So 80x damage, they need to multiply by 5 to do 360 damage, I think. 370 damage, my bad. For a Dragapult VMAX knockout. So we didn't get our VMAX, which is really bad, because but they still need 1 turn though. They still need 1 entire turn to do Element Chain before they're able to attack. So we're safe for 1 turn, but if we don't get the VMAX on the next turn, we're done. I don't think it's possible for us not to get it. I suppose I'm deciding whether to bench certain cards because we don't actually have a Manaphy for this list. So this game is quite tricky because we have no Manaphy against that Kyogre. But I think the main thing we need to watch out for is that Groudon and the Volcarona, because they can kill off the active quite easily. So we just need to kill the Groudon Volcarona as fast as we can. If they put the Cryogonal as the new active with our Tornadus, you know, we're actually forcing them to put a new active. If they put Cryogonal, they can't attach energy, so they're forced to put Groudon. So that actually forces them to have 1 less attacker, 1 less OHKO attacker at that. So I think the golden rule is to evolve and not bench another. If we bench another one, they're probably gonna Aqua Storm. If we don't bench, it's gonna survive even if they escape rope. We actually decide to bench though, because I suppose I'm quite scared of not getting a VMAX with my Marnie. Marnie could, you know, decide to screw us by giving us nothing. No evolution incense, nothing at all. We actually have a path in this deck as well. Path to the peak. Just in case they play Duraludon VMAX. Having 4 Horror Energy cards, we're very likely to attach it early on in the game. So Choice Belt does nothing. Scoop Up Net, let's recycle the ability that matters for this game. Banette is doing nothing because they're playing full basic. Let's recycle our Sudden Cyclone Tornadus. We got our VMAX. We're gonna do Max Phantom. We're gonna place 5 on the Cryogonal. And fingers crossed it survives the Groudon. So the reason I bench is because we don't actually have a choice. If they discard 5 energies with Groudon, they can still knock out our VMAX. So it's still possible. You should never underestimate a Groudon because they have so many energies in their deck. 40 energy, 40 plus energy, I think. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So they chose to do Groudon first. If they do Kyogre first, we may actually do a boss order and then kill off the Groudon and they're done, right? So they are forced to do a Groudon this turn and then Kyogre on the next. And they did not discard 5 energies. There's a very narrow margin of success for that Groudon because they need to discard all 5, otherwise they're done. We get to survive. Now we get to evolve our Dragapult. We got nothing though. We can't afford to bench a V card, so we're just gonna keep the Dragapult as a basic on the bench. If we use a Crobat or a Lumineon, we're giving them extra prizes to hit on a bench, and we don't want to be doing that, I don't think. So if they hit Crobat for 200 damage, they can kill it with 4 discards. If they try to kill Dragapult with 4 discards, it's not possible. They need 5 discards, right? They need exactly 5 again to kill our bench Dragapult V with Aqua Storm. So we are basically forcing them to get the full amount of discard they need to do a knockout. It has that extra 10 HP. It does everything, doesn't it? That extra 10 HP speaks volume. G Mushroom. 0 Mushroom, my bad. O Mushroom. Okay. Volcarona. Here comes the Volcarona. And they're gonna Sonya for a fire energy. Oh, they got basic Pokemons. They should be getting fire energy though, right? Are they able to? I think they killed it. Oh, not enough though. They got 1 less energy discard. Oh, they're so done. We got our second VMAX out. We just need 2 strikes. They're done. They need 5 more prize. We just need to not bench anything this turn. Right? If we bench anything, we're done. If we got a Scoop Up Net though, we can actually do it. Oh, we got a Raihan. We could have done a Scoop Up Net, a Zigzagoon, Raihan for a Scoop Up Net and kill off the Manaphy with our Max Phantom. I don't know what I'm doing right here. I actually attached another one to that one. That's a bit weird. We should have retreated. Raihan to reattach the energy. Get a Scoop Up Net. And then Quick Ball for a Zigzagoon. That's actually the end of the game. I'm not sure if I played a supporter card already. I don't think so. But yeah, Raihan is definitely the way to go. So we just need 1 more strike. I don't think it's possible for them to draw 5 prize in a single turn. They can draw 4 because we are denying them that extra 1 from the bench. Oh, they can't do 4 because they have no Aqua Storm. So they can only do 3 prize draw with the active knockout, doing Surging Flames for 1 billion damage, shuffling back all the energy cards into the deck. And they just conceded, my bad. I'm narrating a bit late. Delay. Okay, now they're playing a fire coin, I think. Is it a fire coin? It's an Arceus coin, my bad. We actually got a Dragonite coin for Tornadus. So this deck is called Sinister Cyclone. And we're using Tornadus. We're featuring the new Tornadus. It's actually... we're only playing one copy, but it is actually supposed to be a Tornadus themed deck. Because we are trying to hit Max Phantom on new Pokemons every turn. Well, not every turn, but as often as we can. So that we get to conserve the amount of damage we're doing with Max Phantom. Otherwise, killing a 10 or 20 HP Pokemon with 130 damage is basically a waste. So another Ice Rider. They got Bibarel this time. I don't think they're playing an Arceus. Ice Rider, Bibarel, no Inteleon. Respect. Like, anyone who doesn't play Inteleon has all of my respect. I mean, that shows that they're smart enough not to spam that brainless card. You don't need to use your brain at all. You don't need to use your brain at all having a shady dealings in your deck. Just need to fit in level balls. That's it. Level ball, level ball, level ball. You do still need to work out the ratio though. The ratio and the number of the copies that you need to play in the deck. But all of that is kind of, you know, optimized already. Like all of the YouTubers and tournament players, they've already optimized everything for you. You don't need to think about it. You just need to follow everyone else. Follow the meta deck, copy their list, and then there you have it. You have the very best deck, tournament ready, you know, what's it called again? Foolproof, perfect deck, sure to win, psychopath, Inteleon. Inteleon is a psychopath, right? He's I don't know what it is. It's like a reptile, a reptilian psychopath, no emotions. Intelligent and you know, precise. So anyways, let's get back to the game. I'm throwing a lot of shade on Inteleon players. I hate Inteleon, guys. Like, I hate that card so much. It shouldn't be so overused in the ladder. Like, come on. Like, are you serious? Arceus I can understand because it's like the newest card. Everyone's like, it is super powerful as well. Like the new, like, you know, Rayquaza for when Evolving Skies first get released, Mew VMAX, and all of those Ice Rider, Shadow Rider. It's kind of expected, but Inteleon, like, come on. Every single set, everyone spams that card. It's kind of... it's gonna be stuck in the game until it rotates out. Because the ability is that broken. We're gonna still have the quick shoot though for the next rotation, so I'm quite disappointed, but at least Shady Dealings is off the format. I'm not sure which expansions are cut off. I should really be checking that out now, but I'm still a bit blur about the rotation info. I think it rotates on August though, right? I don't think it's that early, so we don't need to worry too much yet. August or July? Is it June, July, or August? Somewhere there. I think it's June though. Is it really that early? Anyways, so next set, Astral Radiance. I don't think it's gonna rotate on the next set. I think 2 sets after. I'm quite excited for Deoxys VMAX and Zeraora VSTAR. Oh my god. Like, who isn't? That sounds so cool. Is it gonna be a Fusion Strike? I hope it's a Fusion Strike. A Fusion Strike Deoxys VMAX. That would be so cool, right? That would be insane. And a Rapid Strike Zeraora VMAX. V-Star. There should be a single strike V-Star. Like, come on. Where are those single strike? All those strike cards are gone. They stopped producing the strikes. That's horrible. We only have a few expansions for those strikes. That's not fair. Kind of like your Lost Thunder. There's only one set with the Lost cards, which is horrible. One set. And Jumpluff is, you know, miserably trying to work out Lost March within the range of one tiny little set. Lost March is not going to do enough. There's not enough cards to make that attack work. I'm pretty sure it's just one set, right? I'm not really too familiar with Sun and Moon now. Anyways, they did a Dragapult knockout. We actually are that far down in the game. I actually missed what happened, so I'm doing a really bad job narrating for this game, but I got overexcited with the news and stuff. Anyways, Arceus is not dying. Arceus has quite a lot of damage counters on it, but not quite enough to do a knockout with Banette. So I think we're just gonna do our Tornadus this turn and then kill off the Ice Rider. We actually can do it though. We have the right cards in our hand. So let's do Tornadus. If we get a Zigzagoon, we have a Zigzagoon in our hand, we can kill the VMAX for 3 prize. But I think our best bet here is to devolve. If we devolve it on the bench, we can hit another Pokemon, some other Pokemon for 13 damage counters. I think that would be the best decision, the best route. You never, because if we draw 3 prize, it's a bit clunky, right? We need to devolve the Bibarel. I think our best bet is to devolve the Bibarel. Yeah, I think that's actually possible. If we draw 3 prize, we can't actually draw the remaining 3 that easily unless if we kill the Crobat. If we kill the V-Star and the bench Bidoof, then we can do it, right? But the V-Star can actually be scooped out. If they do a Sharon, they can erase all the damage counters on it. So always be prepared for a Sharon against the Arceus V-Star. They could be playing more than 1 copies in their deck. Having a Bibarel means Sharon is going to be super, they're going to have that card more frequently in their deck. Because it helps you draw. Sharon does nothing but scoop out, right? So you need your Cinccino / Bibarel if you're playing that card. Okay, we got an Incense for our Banette. We actually decided to kill the Ice Rider on the bench, hitting the Arceus with 130 damage this turn. We got no choice belt, but all we need is 2 more damage counters and then Tornadus, recycle Tornadus and Banette again, which is quite a difficult thing to do though. So might as well just bench another Dragapult and then Lumineon, Raihan for... They have to do Trinity, right? They're forced to do Trinity Nova on the next turn. So that means we get to kill off the Arceus in the active spot as the V-Star. I don't think we need Banette for that. We just need to boss the Crobat, I suppose. So kill off the V card, the Ice Rider this turn, kill off the Arceus the next turn with the same VMAX, and then maybe target the Ice Rider. I'm not sure whether to scoop up the Banette this turn, because we could be recycling our Tornadus. Instead, we only have 2 copies to spare, so never waste your scoop up net. Make sure you think it through before playing that item card. You only have 2 copies to spare. So I decided to decide later whether to play that item card or which Pokemon to scoop up. We can do a boss. We don't need to scoop out the Tornadus. We should have scooped out the Banette just now, because if we did a boss on the next turn, we can kill off the Crobat and then devolve the Arceus, collecting 4 prize in a single turn. So that would have been the end of the game, right? But they could quite easily Marnie though. Never underestimate Marnie. But boss is gonna help us because we actually got extra damage counters to place on the Crobat. I didn't realize that. Thanks to 𝘿𝙚𝙚𝙚𝙚 and the Horror Energy, I think. Cemetery, my bad. So we actually only need 2 damage counters on the... what's it called again? On the Ice Rider to kill it off. But 130 is not enough though. My bad. We need a Choice Belt to kill the Crobat. Yeah, that's still not enough. We got a Lumineon though. But we can't play Lumineon for Raihan. It doesn't work, right? Yeah, it doesn't work. I thought it works. Oh well. If we boss, it's still not the end. Apparently, because we have no Choice Belt. Oh well. But they didn't get their bench apparently. They didn't bench Ice Rider, they just conceded. If they could bench another Ice Rider, I think the game would go on quite far. It would still be a long game, I would say. So if you get a bad hand, it actually spells your defeat. You can't actually do anything about it. Your fate lies in your hand. Are you gonna get a good hand? It depends on what type of deck you're playing. If you're relying on abilities, they could do a Weezing on you. If they pull a Weezing, you can't do Shady, you can't do Bibarel, you can't do... what else can you do? Make do. You can't do a lot of things. So we're playing against Ice Rider again. So many Ice Riders in the standard ladder. They have no Arceus this time. Spoiler, spoiler. No Arceus. So let's see which one works better. The one with Arceus or the one without. They got Air Balloon on the ice. Like, why? Why would they need an Air Balloon? To remove special conditions, I suppose. If they poison the Ice Rider, if your opponent plays a Slowking, you get to retreat to remove the special condition. Or basically wait on your bench until you get your Cheryl. Incubate. Very, common strategy for most VMAX decks. Retreat to the bench, wait for your Cheryl, because you are playing Inteleon Shady Dealings, so there we go. Retreat, retreat, retreat. Okay, are we gonna boss? We actually have the luxury to pull one over on them. We could do a 𝘿𝙚𝙚𝙚𝙚 though. I think we're just gonna kill off 2 Sobbles here, because it appears they didn't get much from their last draw. I don't think they have a supporter card in their hand on the last turn. So let's just target the Shady Dealings. Let's remove all Sobbles from the field. No Drizzle on the next turn. Let's see how they're gonna draw their cards. They need a Melanie, they need Evolution Incense, they need quite a lot to pull off the Ice Rider. But it's not impossible. If they just need 1 research, right? If they do a research, they can attach energy from their hand, evolve, and that's it. They don't really need much. But if they don't get a supporter card, they're done. Any supporter is all they need. Level Ball for Drizzle. Ha 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 ha. No Sobbles to evolve, man. What are you gonna do? Oh, they conceded. Shady Dealings. Shady Dealings died, guys. First time ever. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.